Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy Speeder. We're back with another tier list. I mean, okay, it's not a tier list. It's a top 5 heroes list. We're going to be going over position 5 today. I think I covered offlane and carry to this point, so I'll be doing a 4 list and a mid list coming up pretty soon. I don't think we'll have a patch in a while, so it's good to be up to date on what is the meta, what you should be banning, looking out for, playing, etc., etc. So let's get into the top pop fives. Let's get into the pop fives. On top of that, go sign up to the Game League website, guys. I'm posting new content over there almost every day, and I'll see you there. All right, so we're gonna start with 2 honorable mentions. First of all, we have Ancient Apparition. I think this hero is highly underrated in the pro scene right now. Obviously, I'm gonna focus most of this video on your typical pub, but I think AA is underrated. I do believe that this is one of the best scaling heroes in Dota, and for me, I always repeat that in these types of videos. You want heroes that are very reliable in their damage and that scale into the late game. And AA is super consistent with this. If the game is going poorly, as long as you're not getting run over, which just doesn't tend to happen in average pubs, if you're not getting run over, you're gonna have kill potential when you have AA on your team. You have damage amp, you have your ulti, you have healing reduction. And most recently, what I love that they did to AA is they heavily buffed this ultimate. I thought after this change, the hero would skyrocket back into the meta, and I thought the pub win rate would show it. And the pub win rate has shown it. It has a 52% win rate on Dota Buff and 52% win rate on Dota 2 Pro Tracker, showing that this is just a very solid hero. What was the change to the ultimate? They made it where its ulti heal reduction lasts from 10 seconds flat, it used to be 10 flat, to 10, 11, 12. So in the late game, you're getting an extra 2 seconds of reduced healing, and that's when this reduced healing is most important against things like Satanic, when the offlaner has 4 regen items. You know, it just makes a huge difference in the late game. This extra 2 seconds is going to stop people from turning and really get those last ticks to finish off those kills. So big fan of AA. I don't think it's a great laner, but it's very impactful. It scales into the game, and Ice Vortex is just one of my favorite abilities in Dota. All right, the next honorable mention is Phoenix. I think if Phoenix was an easier hero, it would easily be on this list of the top 5 right now. I'm a big believer in Phoenix. Ever since they made Vessel a much better item, I've kind of fallen in love with the hero this patch. I just think that this is one of the best Vessel buyers in the game because the hero skirmishes a lot, so it gets charges, it burns people to death, so it kind of its damage type naturally synergizes with Vessel. It wants the HP, it wants the armor, it wants the mana regen, and even the HP of the item synergizes with the Facet Dying Light, where you do damage based on how much HP you're missing. So the higher HP pool you have, the better it is. So yeah, I think Phoenix in this meta is very good. I think Phoenix with the changes to items is very good. And so overall, I would give this hero a shot if you want to deal a ton of damage. Phoenix is a top pick for me. You can solo carry games with this hero, but it requires a very strong understanding of its timings at level 3, at level 7, you gotta know when to farm, because it's a farming support, it pushes out waves and farms neutral camps, you gotta know where to place the egg. It's difficult. It's way harder than playing something like AA, where you're gonna sit in the back, you're not farming shit, you're just following up stuns throughout the entirety of the game. All right, getting into number 5, we have Oracle. Oracle has high win rate in all brackets right now, and this hero's been just good for a minute. It's another one of those heroes where I think in the pro scene it's overlooked. I think it's overlooked because largely of gates. I think the twin gates heavily disfavor Oracle. It's a hero that doesn't love fighting in the early game. Its weak laning stage tends to mean that it falls behind early on. But I do believe when paired with strong safe laners like Gyrocopter that can get it through the laning stage, this can be one of the best heroes in the game. Its mid game, if unscathed in the early game, is unbelievable. Ever since they made it where the W doesn't disarm allies so they can attack while fully magic immune, okay, not spell immune, but magic immune, is pretty unbelievable. It is one of the best spells in the game. The E is a 450 heal at max on like a 3-second cooldown, and it gets amped by the Facet, the Clairvoyant Cure. So this hero's healing is straight up absurd. You can buy Holy Locket, which did get nerfed a little, but not enough to make the item unviable. You can buy Solar, you can buy Aether, whatever, and this hero is just insane from the backline. It makes jumping really hard, its sustain is unbelievable, its shard is very good, and so yeah, I really think that Oracle is one of these heroes where if you can play a very passive lane, let the game progress into the late game, you're just going to have unbelievable teamfight impact with decent positioning. So yeah, I would highly recommend him as probably the best save support. The only other hero that I think can be in contention for this spot that I also thought about putting in an honorable mention as a save hero is Shadow Demon. I think that hero is way more aggressive, it's a better laner, it's overall, in my opinion, more reliable at a higher level than Oracle, but it's far more difficult to play, and it scales a little worse, in my opinion, than Oracle in the average pub. All right, getting into number 4, we have Ogre Magi. So right now, Ogre Magi is the highest win rate hero for Pause 5 that has like a substantial amount of games played. It's the highest win rate Pause 5, which is crazy. Ogre Magi. Yeah, it's 55% right now, and it's kind of been going up. So I'm trying to think about why. I think the main reason for me, this is a hero that did not like the stat meta. It did not like when people spam bought bracers because they just get a little bit too tanky. You're like, damn, my Ignite isn't really doing nearly as much as it should. It's not gonna really put a dent into these 1300, 1400 early game HP heroes. On top of that, it didn't want to buy bracers itself. You could, it definitely was an option. You could frontline, but it tends to want to buy these bigger items, right? And the main build that's going around right now that I'm looking at on Pro Tracker, there's two main avenues, maybe three. I'll cover all three. So the first avenue is Solar Crest Rush, pretty standard, just because the item is good. It's nerfed, but it's still broken. And it pairs kind of well with Bloodlust. Basically, you make any of the OP range carries, which, by the way, are all in the meta, which is kind of why I'm surprised Ogre hasn't taken a little bit more of a place in the pro scene, because it's the range hero meta. This hero loves Dusa, it loves Drought, Morphling, Gyro, Natures. Like, a lot of these heroes that have been top meta for a while love being Bloodlusted. I mean, love being Bloodlusted. And then the other build is Midas, and the final build is Shard. I actually really like Ogre Magi Shard. It was even buffed recently where now multicast prioritizes Ogre Magi himself, followed by heroes, then buildings. So basically, it used to hit creeps a lot, and then it wouldn't be that good. But now you just, like, Ogre Magi Shard is one of the most broken shards in the game. It puts a barrier that absorbs 85% of attack damage. So like, let's say a Sven goes on you, his first 3 attacks deal 15% damage, and it reflects 160 damage per attack. So I believe Ogre Magi can rush Shard, and it's absurd. If you multicast this thing and you put it on 2-3 heroes, guys, it's reflecting, it's what, 480 damage per hero? This shit's insane. It's one of the best shards in the game. It has been. It's a 15-second cooldown with good 600 cast range. Not great, but good 600 cast range. So I believe that the best build on this hero is probably Mana Boots into Shard. I'm a huge fan, and I would recommend giving this a shot. Then if you want to scale, you can go Midas because of multicast. And it's the only hero I'd really recommend Midas on, honestly. I think there's almost no other hero besides maybe Arc Warden. And then just like things like Solar Crest, Drums, maybe Glimmer. And yeah, you just go from there. So I believe that the hero's good in the meta. I think the Facet Learning Curve is very powerful, where you get no abilities at level 1, but 3 points at level 2. You're nasty at level 2 when you get this 3 ability points, and you get ulti at level 5, and you just have this crazy timing. So buy the Shard. That's my personal take on the hero. Buy the Shard. And you can buy Midas after and just scale into the game. Late game Hex, multicast Hex, pretty crazy. All right, getting into number 3, we have Clockwork, super solid. Not gonna spend really much time on him. I thought he got nerfed last patch. Turns out it was a buff, like the bounce thingy. This is probably the best melee hero in the game right now. A very reliable laning stage, scales well, can farm. It does a lot of damage. The cogs just burn so much mana. If you trap people in with the expanded armature, it's very hard to get out. You can bounce them around. It gives vision, it initiates, just a solid hero. And most importantly, it synergizes with the meta. I know I covered this a lot, or I say this a lot, but that's the reality. A lot of win rates play around like, is it good with heroes that are in the meta? And the ranged heroes, the Shadow Fiends, Morphlings, like we covered, are very good with Clockwork. So easy to play, scales, good with the meta. Next up, let's get into the real broken heroes of the patch. First of all, we have Lich. Yeah, this hero, it's been buffed a little bit too much. So currently, it's pretty funny. I love looking at this website. The website is called nix.com, and it's a bit more than that, but it shows the win rates of facets, and it's updated to 7.37D. And Lich, in the top 7 highest win rates, the top 4 are Abaddon and Wraith King, which I didn't put Abaddon on this list, guys. I do think for pubs, yes, maybe it should be another honorable mention. I didn't want to put this hero. I feel like I always put it in these lists when like it's unchanged. It's really just a good low MMR hero. I'd say as you gain MMR, I wouldn't play it too much. And what's really weird about Abaddon to me is that like Mephitic Shroud, the facet that makes the shield like do AoE damage and like it's like a longer cooldown but a bigger barrier, is the highest win rate facet in Dota. I personally am not a huge fan of it. I think the quickening is one of the best facets in the game. It literally lowers item cooldown when units and heroes die around you, like Solar Crest, Glimmer, lower cooldown. I don't know. I'm pretty sure the quickening Abaddon definitely could be on this list. Honorable mention now. I should have put him in earlier. But it's just so boring for me to talk about Wraith King and Abaddon because they're always at the top because they're easy to play and they're tanks that run in, take attention, and make the enemy team overcommit. Like, it's not because the hero's particularly good right now. It's not even good in the meta. It's literally because people are bad. I don't know. It's so annoying. Please stop. Okay, but talking about heroes that are good when people are bad, we got Lich coming in at number 2. And yeah, I mean, the reality is when people position poorly, Lich is OP. But I've had Lich in some of my recent games. Let me tell you, it's really hard not to get hit by a big Lich ult now for 2 reasons. Well, the first one's been in the game for forever. The ult's a 65% movement speed slow. Like, I'm trying to split. I'm getting bounced between like this shit's bouncing on me. I'm trying to run away. I can't move. I can't move. And then even if I move out of the way, this Frostbound facet makes it where it lingers. So at level 1, it lingers for 2, then 3, then 4 seconds based on the level. So late game, it's a 4-second linger time. Even if you get away from this guy, some dumbass on your team, pardon my French, is going to be stepping into it. And it's going to keep going. Like, you can't get out of it. On top of that, this hero's late game with this Frostbound facet, it's crazy because you have Chain Frost on death at level 20, and then at 25, if the game happens to go long enough, this is way less relevant, you have Chain Frost unlimited bounces. Goofy hero, it's been buffed like 40 times in a row. They buffed the Death Charge innate, which gives you mana when units die around you in the C patch. They buffed the damage reduction on Frost Shield at level 1 by 15%, a 50% increase at level 1. So you just leave this ability at level 1 and it's straight up insane now. They made it where you can use any abilities during Sinister Gaze now. Like, literally, you can Sinister Gaze and cast Frost Shield, your Q, and your ult all during Sinister Gaze. So I think the skill build is 4 on 4, and then you buy the shard and you just kill people with the shard. You don't even need to buy the shard. You could just buy Solar as well, Drum Solar, Glimmer, just like the stat items. I don't know. This hero, the facets are insane. They've been buffed a billion times. The Growing Cold facet is, by the way, also really good. And if it gets touched up again, but it's funny, Growing Cold is only 0.5% lower win rate than Frostbound across all brackets. So let me tell you, they're both really good. And I don't even know which one's better. I think it depends on the game. Because I think Growing Cold counters like illusions or some shit. Yeah, this hero is just good in pubs because of bad positioning and it's been buffed a billion times. And finally, last hero, I feel very confident about this one. I've played it in my pubs and holy, Warlock feels so strong in my opinion. I think this hero is like the best pub hero for Pause 5 in the game right now. I think it's better than Abaddon, better than Lich. It's just, I mean, it does so much damage. And let me tell you, I'm coaching someone right now who plays Warlock Pause 5 and I think, especially the lower you go, guys, people's positioning, I know I'm repeating myself, is so bad. Guys, I watch you play the game. If you're below 3K, why do you just run forward? Why are you constantly next to each other? Spread out, and when you cast your spells, kite out. Stop running forward. Stop running forward. You'll gain so much MMR. Please cast your shit and move away from the enemy. You know what happens when you don't do that? You get hit by a 4-man Fatal Bonds, 4-man Rock, and you get caught in an upheaval that's been channeling for 8 seconds already. And you insta-die to it. Like, damn. Let me say, I think Warlock's good even when people do kite out, because Fatal Bonds has a huge connection range. The heal, it instantly comes out now. These imps deal a ton of damage. And Black Grimoire, I know Champion of Goroth, oddly enough, on the Facet website, it is much higher win rate than Black Grimoire. Okay, it's like 1.5% higher. Champion of Goroth has this really high win rate and always has. Maybe I'm missing something. I've literally yet to read a comment on why this is so good. Maybe you guys can tell me. I don't get it because I think Black Grimoire is like an elite facet. I've used it in 2 different ways in my recent games. I recommended in my Warlock video either use it at level 6 to get level 6 early or level 12. I've kind of changed my mind based on the advice my friend Albino and my coaching student who said they both think it's better to get level 15, which is the facet that gives you attack speed on upheaval. It's really powerful for sieging and just enabling right clickers. And on top of that, it just, when you wait even longer, you just get, I've gone from level 13 to like 16 with the book because I had like 15 charges of this shit. I had a game where at minute 7, I popped it and had ult. And then the enemy went on me with IO Marcy. I ulted them and they both died. I was like, and then I was level 7 at minute 8. I actually lost the game. I had a useless SF mid, okay? I'm telling you, dude. Magical SF mid, when it's having a bad game, is the most useless thing in Dota. I hate SF as a mid right now. It's so bad. It's so bad. Oh my. All right, I'll stay on topic for the pause 5 video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Pick Warlock, pick Lich. If you need a stunner, pick Clock. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website, where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.